We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and let's remain standing. Senator Bevins is going to do the invocation for us tonight. Thank you.
Sorry.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
He's here. 1 second.
I guess Father John Evans is here. We'll wait for him, I guess.
Sorry, everyone, I was locked out. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. We stand before you, O Lord, conscious of our sinfulness, but aware that we gather in your name. Come to us, remain with us, and enlighten our hearts. Give us light and strength to know your will, to make it our own, and to live it in our lives. Guide us by your wisdom, support us by your power. You desire justice for all. Enable us to uphold the rights of others. Do not allow us to be misled by ignorance or corrupted by fear or favor. Unite us to yourself in the bond of love and keep us faithful to all that is true. As we gather in your name, may we temper justice with love, so that all our decisions may be pleasing to you and earn the reward you promised to good and faithful servants. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Father. Nancy, will you do roll call, please?
Akery,
Here.
Bivens,
Here.
Book,
Here.
Friel,
Here.
Gascoigne,
Here.
Hudson,
Present.
Kitson,
Present.
Copine,
Present.
Minimi, Naylor,
Present.
Pearson, Robertson,
Present.
Sheline,
Here.
Shippert,
Here.
Scrogstad,
Here.
White,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Zeman,
Here.
Olson.
Present. Thank you. Under announcements, I've got please mute or turn your cell phones off. And we'll go to quarterly employee spotlight recognition. I'll ask Leslie Dever, and Mike Wilcox. They'll be presenting our spotlight recognition for this quarter.
Good evening. I am Leslie Dever, and this is Mike Wilcox. We are from the probation department. We're here on behalf of our director, Stacy Stewart, who is not able to be here tonight. But we are glad to honor Jody, and I will recite what Stacy commented in her nomination. Jody Monk is a 16-year veteran employee of the Lee County Probation and Court Services Department who goes above and beyond each day in the detailed work she performs for the department. Not only is she responsible for managing the 350-plus individuals who enter the Probation and Court Services Department each month, but she is also a learner of statistical information, enters all client data into the management information system, and can single-handedly manage a felony pretrial day where over 50 people come through our doors. which today was one of those days. In addition to the daily responsibilities already mentioned, Jody is responsible for the preparation of monthly claims, oversees caseload distribution, and does this as the lone secretarial position in a department of 10 full-time employees and 3 part-time employees. A part-time secretarial position was eliminated many years ago, and she had continued to maintain these duties entirely by herself. Most recently, the attribute that stands out the most with Jody is her genuine care and concern for others that goes beyond her work. When a ride did not show up for an out-of-town juvenile at the end of the day, instead of leaving, she opted to wait outside of the courts building with that juvenile until his ride arrived 25 minutes later. This clearly imposed on her personal time, but that was not a concern to her because she has the patience and desire to help others. This is just a small example of the dedication Jody gives each day to the people of Lee County. Thank you very much for all your efforts and dedication. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know if I need to move that or not, but I just want to thank my director, Stacy Stewart, our senior officers, Mike and Leslie, and all the officers and Officer Rosales that came with me this evening for everything they do to make my job easy. And the county board, thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you. I'll go down to announcements under C. I'd like everybody to be aware Daniel Allen turned in her resignation to me on Monday, August 14th. She's going to be moving out of the county. And I'd like to thank her for all the time she served and all the committees she worked on, and she will be missed. She did a lot of work for the county. She always had the county's best interest at heart. So thank you, Danielle. We'll go down to approval of board minutes. Is there any changes or corrections to the board minutes? If none, we'll let the minutes stand as presented. We'll go to monthly resolutions. We have one Joseph Meyer resolution. Is there a motion to approve the Joseph Meyer resolution for parcel number 13-21-11-408-009 in Woodhaven Lakes? Mr. Sheeline moves. Mrs. Naylor seconds. Ms. Naylor seconds. Any discussion? Any discussion? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Yep. Well, you better do roll call. Sorry, you're right. Too big a hurry.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kitson,
Yes.
Copine,
Yes.
Larum. Larum,
Yes. Yes.
thank you. Naylor,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Sheeline,
Yes.
Shippert,
Yes.
Schragstad,
Yes.
White. Yes. Wilson,
Yes.
Zeman,
Yes.
Acree,
Yes.
Bivens,
Yes.
Book,
Yes.
Freel,
Yes.
Gascoigne,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Motion passed. Thank you. To zoning and planning, included in your packet is the monthly report from zoning and planning with an overview of their office activities, including the zoning petitions. Are there any questions regarding or comments regarding this report? If none, we'll go to, we have a petition, one petition that was held over in July. Included in your agenda packet is the resolution for amended petition 23-PC-74. It's a petition to amend the text of Lee County Code 10-4 from Ag 1 Rural Ag District. Alice, would you like to come up and explain this?
Good evening. This text amendment will allow skilled trades such as electricians, plumbers, and HVAC techs to operate a business in the Ag 1 Rural Agricultural District as an accessory use so long as a special use permit is obtained.
And they can have one employee?
One employee on site all day. So only one, they can have multiple employees, but only one of them is allowed to remain at the site for the work hours.
Okay. Thank you. Let's get a motion on the table. Is there a motion to approve this resolution for petition 23-PC-74? Mr. Friel moves. Mr. Kitson seconds it. Any discussion or any questions or comments on what Alice just said? Everybody understand what we're doing? Okay, so we got to, all those in favor of this petition, pass it, approve it, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Alice, we'll go to C. We have a petition on the agenda that was tabled in June. It's included in your agenda packet. Is a resolution and a signed petition, 23-P-1606. It's the Amboy Solar One LLC, parcel number 06-09-12-400-003. It's a special use community solar system energy in Franklin Grove Township. So is there a motion to take this petition 23-P-1606 off the table? Mr. Sheeline moves. Ms. Naylor seconds. Any discussion? We're just pulling this off the table so then we can vote on it. Any questions or comments? If none, all those in favor to pull it off the table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we have it off the table. Alice, would you like to update us on this petition?
Yes. Last month, the board tabled this petition, pending the receipt of a report from the State Historic Preservation Office that would include the state's findings and recommendations regarding the Whitney Mansion. This report was received and subsequently disseminated to this board on August 4th via email. The report, along with its findings, recommend 3 conditions that would address the state's concerns regarding the proposed project's effect on the historic property. Those conditions would require that the proposed vegetative screen be extended by 200 feet, that the vegetative screen be sufficiently wide and sufficiently dense, that it would provide visual screening from the understory to about 30 feet high at maturity, and that the site and planting plans be submitted to the State Historic Preservation Office for further review and comment. If the board wishes to approve this petition this evening, the zoning department would ask that the conditions of both the Zoning Board of Appeals and the conditions of the State Historic Preservation Office be adopted. The resolution that is before you tonight on your desks includes both the conditions of the Zoning Board of Appeals, which is letters A through J, and from SHPO, which is letters K through M. Paragraph N has been included to ensure that the county receives any additional reviews and/or comments from the state with regards to the screening. Additionally, today you were emailed a copy of an acknowledgement of third party with regards to this project. This agreement is between the petitioner and the owner of the proposed solar site. This agreement has been proffered to address concerns regarding potential damage to the Whitney home as a result of this project and acknowledges, that the owner of the Whitney Mansion be named as a third party, and that would be for indemnification purposes. Are there any questions?
I'd like to get a motion on the table before we discuss this. Is there a motion to approve the resolution petition 23-P-1606 with the conditions that have been added and explained by the Renewable Energy Coordinator, Alice, and set forth by the State Historic Preservation Office, items K through L, M, and N? Mr. Kitson, you want to make that motion?
Yes.
We have a second. Mr. Copine seconds it. All right, now let's discuss this. Any questions or comments? Yes, Aaron.
I have some
Angie.
comment. Yeah,
Sorry.
I have some comments. When the ZBA originally sent this to us, there was a tie vote. My understanding of that is that it's not considered recommended to us. Is that true, Mr. Chair?
I think the ZBA recommended Alice. Is that correct? Coming out of ZBA? I think it was a 5.
You are correct. It was recommended.
What was the vote on that?
I don't know offhand. I would have to go back and look at my notes.
But you're sure that it was recommended?
I think we need to look it up to make sure, but wouldn't it be in our, Wendy, do we have that in our onboard?
I was under the impression it was a tie.
Yes,
Okay,
Okay.
I stand corrected.
okay.
And a tie means do not recommend, is that? Right,
I would think, Charlie, would that be correct?
If it's a tie from the ZBA, what that means is that there is neither a vote to recommend or not recommend at that point.
Okay, thank you. Some further comments. While SHPO has weighed in on some additional items here, keep in mind the panels will be seen surrounding the historical home, even with the additional barriers. Both this ordinance and the new ordinance, it's my understanding that the board is able to take into consideration historical homes and historical things in general. If the company were to choose to reapply under a new ordinance, it's also my understanding that these SHPO recommendations would stand as well. And my understanding is that the Village of Franklin Grove and the Franklin Grove Township Board have stated publicly their opposition to this project, as well as community members that have appeared here. And then finally, the board is able to vote on projects like this. And while state lawmakers have made a more restrictive ordinance in future applications, we do have the ability to vote on what's best for our county, both now and in the future. Thanks.
Any questions or comments about that? Alice, how is this proposed site, is that within the 1.5 halo of Franklin?
It is not. It is not. Is it?
Yes, Mr. Kitson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have to remember that under the present ordinance that we have in place, there would be a 400-foot setback from the foundation of this property. And whether we like this or not, and it is a lottery whether it moves forward, if they reapply, that foundation or that setback would be reduced to 150 feet. And we have no say over that as the state ordinance has changed. Just a reminder.
It's my understanding that while the setback would be fewer, the board still has the ability to vote yes or no. Is that true?
I would ask Charlie or Alice.
I would just refer you to what the direction is I gave you before when it comes to your requirements as the board. Again, this is a permitting process. This isn't just deciding based on two different parties what you want to do with it and what your gut feelings are. You go through, you follow the steps of the statute or of the ordinance, you apply them, and then you go with what's based on the Lee County Comprehensive Plan. And whether you believe they've met those requirements is up to you to decide at that point.
Any other questions or comments?
Yep. I have a
Yes,
question.
Mr. Book.
Have we updated the comprehensive plan lately, or would the comprehensive plan permit such a development?
It would permit such a development.
Thank you.
More questions, comments? If none, we'll do a roll call vote on this.
Kitson,
Yes.
Copine,
Yes.
Larum,
Lyrum, no.
Naylor,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Sheline,
Yes.
Shippert,
No.
Scrogstad,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zeman,
Yes.
Acree,
No.
Bivens,
No.
Book,
Yes.
Freel,
Yes.
Gascoigne,
No.
Hudson,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
13 yes, 5 no.
Motion passed. Thanks, Alice. We'll move to, we do have one petition coming, so we'll go to, we have no, petitions going to the zoning board of appeals are none. Petitions going to planning commission is none. We have one petition coming from the zoning board. The resolution and signed petition are included in your agenda packet. Petition 23-P-1615, petitioner John Hilliker, parcel number 0609-23-300-006. It's a special use to operate business from property with one on-site employee, like Alice spoke about earlier. Is there a motion to approve this resolution for petition 23-P-1615? Mr. Wilson moves and Mr. Akery seconds. Any discussion, questions, comments? I need to do this as a roll call as well.
Copine,
Yes.
Larum,
Yes.
Naylor,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Sheline,
Yes.
Shippert,
Yes.
Scrogstead,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zeman,
Yes.
Akery,
Yes.
Bivens,
Yes.
Book,
Yes.
Frio,
Yes.
Gascoigne,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kitson,
Yes.
Olson.
I'll abstain. Okay. Liam, if we need you to activate your camera so we can record your vote.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Motion passed. We'll go to petitions coming from the planning commission. I have none. We'll go to administrative monthly update and board member comments. Wendy, do you have anything you'd like to report at this time?
I do not. Thank you.
Any board members? Ms. Naylor?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today, the Senate offices received some communication that I'd just like to share with the board. It's just helpful in clarification, and I know we all get comments about things. And this is about the House Bill 4412, the solar and wind regulations for placement. And I'd just like to read a short piece of what it says because I think it's helpful to all of us when trying to explain what that bill and law is about. If a landowner living or owning property in a rural area of a county wants to lease out to a solar facility, there are almost no opportunities for a county board to stop the project. Cities can still stop the projects within the city limits in a small zone around the city. Even if the neighboring residents oppose the project, there are very few add-ons that a county board can place on the project before it's built. In fact, the solar company could sue the county if the county holds up the process. So thank you for the time for allowing me to say that. It was just interesting information that came from our legislative liaison in the Senate caucus today. And it was something that I thought might be helpful to all of you. Thank you.
Very relevant today. Anybody else have a comment or anything I want to share?
Yeah, Nancy, was that a legal opinion that was shared or?
That was from our Senate caucus liaison, Scott Foils in the Senate caucus.
And
It's
to your knowledge, have there been cases that have come up such as that?
Say that one more time, please.
So to your knowledge, did he have any like cases that he or she was referencing?
There's been, I can read part of this email just that clarifies that. There's been residents that do not understand why county board or senators are not stopping projects or moving the projects next to their homes. So he wrote up the explanation. Oops, sorry. So he wrote up the explanation of this. So he said to forward it to the districts, which is us, and feel free to forward to anyone outside, including the several articles that are at the bottom explain. That's pretty much all that it says. So he has had some controversy controversial questions.
But do we know of any instances, and Charlie, you may know of instances where this has come up and the county's been sued?
I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure we can find it. You know,
Okay, thank you.
I think
Thanks
it's
for
only
sharing,
been out,
Nancy.
it's only been a month or two or 60 days, so I'm sure it hasn't
Yeah,
worked its way through.
just happening.
Thanks, Nancy. Anybody else have anything? All right, we'll go to public comments. I didn't have anybody turn anything in, so anybody want to speak at this time? If not, we'll go to county organizations and presentation updates. We'd like to welcome Carrie Fulkin to the meeting tonight. Carrie is Executive Director with BEST, and she'll be sharing some information with us.
Thank you. Good evening. I just wanted to thank you for giving me a few minutes to share some successes about citizens that you had from your county from this past year that we worked with. Like he said, my name is Carrie Fulkin. I'm the Executive Director. I've been with BEST Incorporated for 30 years, and I've been in a variety of different roles in this. But sharing successes of people and not just numbers are one of my favorite things to do. September is National Workforce Development Month. So I take from August to October and go around to our 8 counties that we serve and tell the successes from residents. And these are just a couple of them. I mean, I'm just kind of highlighting a couple people. We've had many more than that. The success comes from the individual. We're just there to help them along. It's not like it's us that is being successful. It's the individuals that are being successful. So BEST Incorporated administers the federally funded Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. It has been named a lot of different names. It's a part of legislation. It goes from WIOA to WIA to JTPA to CETA. I mean, it goes way back there. It's just called different things at different times. We cover 8 counties. We serve individuals who are eligible for our program, and the program line streams are adults, dislocated workers, and youth. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of information. You received in your packet some numbers, our annual numbers of individuals and businesses that we've served, and also a list of services and all of our offices that we have in the 8-county area. So if you know of anybody that may need assistance, you can give them that information. But the reason why I'm here, I'm just going to share a couple success stories with you. We're just finishing up a work experience with the Dixon High School in the tech zone. Caden started there last summer and was very shy and scared to ask questions, but very interested in computers. He's going to SOC for computer science. They worked with him to get him more comfortable working at the front desk to a point where he could work independently. Once he started classes at SOC, they were very flexible at working with him with a school schedule. Now he's been placed at DC Computers, where he will use his interpersonal skills to work with staff members to set up routers for people. Another story is Kay was referred by Dixon High School for help with employment. Due to a disability, Kay needed a specific work environment and structure to be successful. We reached out to various businesses and found just the right fit for the work experience. Kay is working at a local nursing home doing dietary and activities, and it's such a big hit for the residents that she will be hired permanently upon completing her work experience. Also, we've worked with many Lee County businesses. Another group of people that we do work with are the businesses. So we have the participants and the businesses. We worked with a number of Lee County businesses through the drive-through job fairs that we had, and also the in-person job fairs held in conjunction with Illinois Department of Employment Security. So each opportunity is unique and different depending on the individual's need. And we try to sit down with each one of them individually and path out exactly what's going to help them become successful. Like I said, that list of services that you had in your packet just gives you a snapshot of some of the services. We sit down with them and say, you know, what's your path and what would help you become successful. So again, if you know of anybody that would be interested in that type or would benefit from this program, it is a national program. So even if it's not in the state of Illinois, you could give any one of those numbers a call and we could help set you up with anybody throughout the United States. So thank you. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Carrie? We've used a couple of your employees in the past, and it's worked out well for us and the employee as well, and we hired Jonathan from that
Yep.
program. So thank you for working with us. Good
Thank
program.
you. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to reports of standing committees, county services, Mr. Scroggstead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our committee met last Monday, 9 o'clock. Our committee or our department heads, they've been submitting all the reports in a electronic format. So everyone, including the public, may look at those reports in the county board agenda packet for my committee. One of the things that I did want to point out was a couple of things. Nancy pointed out that petitions for elections will be allowed to be taken out on September 5th for those, especially for us county board members who are only for 2-year terms, that we can take them out September 5th, and they have to be turned in on November 27th. So just something for y'all to think about. And also the Highway Department has a intergovernment agreement that we're going to be talking about and voting on later on today. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Jack? Thank you. Public Safety and Court Services Committee, Mr. Corpine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Public Safety met August 14th. Pretty much a short meeting. There was a recap of activities from EMA. I'll give that to you in just a minute. There was a request made or submitted to the committee for an extension or an increase of a salary. Motion was made to recommend to the Finance Committee to review that. The motion did pass, and that was sent on to the Finance. Under report of abandoned properties focus group, there's nothing that has been added to the abandoned properties or any new action that's been taken on that. We're still waiting to close some of the situations that are currently still pending. EMA, as I said, gave a recap of the activities for being involved with the 4-H Center. The office provided a light tower and cameras along the command trail for the Tunia Festival, flew the drone for the Reagan Run, was in Freeport for one day assisting with the Duffy Baker Days, provided space for the USS VA, and this was put on by the Small Business Association that assisted those people that had damage due to the severe storm that came through Lee County on March 31st this year. Other than that, that's all I have.
Any questions for Mike? Comments? Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We'll go to Facilities, Maintenance, and Elevators. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was unable to attend the meeting, but Dean Frail ran a very efficient meeting. We had a few things to discuss. Real quick recapping some things that we're working on right now is we've got some things out for bid right now for the VAVs. We're putting the boiler, the second boiler out for the new courts building. We completed a job over in the parking lot. There was a problem with the grading and what have you, and we had some safety concerns. We've completed that project. The elevator project here is scheduled for I believe the 19th or the week of the 19th of September to start in this facility. I know that's the same thing we talk about every month. One thing I'd like to talk about is the STEP program for the maintenance that we put in. Jeff Hilden is our new facility director, and he's doing a really good job organizing things. We've had 2 new hires. Well, we've had 1 new hire. We hired a maintenance 1 in the STEP program. It's replacing people that are retiring and people that are already gone. We're looking right now, we're going to be putting out soon a thing for another custodial person. That's one of the areas we're lacking in. But Jeff's working really well with all of our folks and Greg Saunders. And the STEP program's kind of exciting because it's something that was put together, and Wendy did all the legwork on it. And I want to thank Wendy for putting together the STEP program. It's starting to take foothold. We're going to be hiring a maintenance 3 because we have some people that'll be retiring. So the STEP program is actually starting to come together pretty nice for our maintenance departments. Also want to thank Jim and his group for working with us on some projects that we're looking at getting done yet this year, and we'll have more to report in the coming months.
Your ticket system working good too, like IT does? You do that in the maintenance, correct? What do you?
Yeah, we're still starting the process. Jeff is working on getting the process started for work orders. He's got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things that he's trying to integrate. We're trying to do time sheets through the phone or through the iPads and what have you. So there's a lot of stuff that we're working on, and it's starting to happen. It's just going to take some time. So,
Any questions or comments for Tom? Thanks, Tom. We'll go to Claims Committee, Mr. Zeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee met twice. First one on July 19th. We initiated and reviewed 85 claims and forwarded all 85 to the full county board for ratification. The second meeting was August 9th. We initiated the review of 86 claims in the queue, and we forwarded all 86 to the full county board for ratification. That's all I got.
Any questions or comments for Mike? Thanks. Finance, Mr. Sheeline.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance Committee met last Thursday, and I think the Thursday before and the Tuesday before that, and just working through that budget process. And I want to comment on Mr. Wilson. He's put the finance chairman in the weird position of actually telling somebody spend some money. So I'm glad that things are moving along.
Tom will do that.
Bids.
You don't have to tell him twice. He'll do that.
Yeah. Don't get used to that, Mr. Wilson. It's going to turn on you. So. Anyway, information is in the packet. So give you, I guess I'll start off with the budget rundown. We have wrapped up the budget hearings. The way our process works is that, and this has kind of been different than in the past, but the last couple of years is if a department head has a significant change in their department, then they appear before us, whether it's personnel, whether it's spending issues or that kind of thing. This way, it used to be that we had every single department head come before us, even if they didn't have any changes in their department or not. So this is really streamlined and our processes. So we've heard from all the departments now. Now it's been kind of the task of the committee. Now we got to bring the and I'll tell you that the requests from the departments to our initial pass-throughs in regards to our revenues, we're showing deficit. That has myself, Paul, and Wendy has met, and we have closed the initial gap. We have some things that are outstanding to be settled for next year's budget in regards. We have 2 union negotiations that are going on presently. And so there's still some things that are outlier there that we have to get wrapped up before we can have a product that we can present to you. So that's where we're at in the budget process. I guess I'd ask for any questions before I moved on any questions in regards to budget. Okay, great. Now, I do expect when we present the budget, I expect questions. In fact, I might even seed some questions with you guys. So be prepared. One of the things, Paul did a really great job last week's meeting was to present our where we stand right now in regards to finances, and he focused specifically on our cash balances. Our cash balances although they're less than what they have been in the last couple of years, and that's a lot of reasons for that is for the federal dollars that have washed through the system. But we have received our initial disbursement in regards to property taxes. So we are showing, as far as the financial policy, if you guys remember, I don't remember which month it was, but we have adopted a policy that we keep a 3 to 6 month reserve in place. We are maintaining and we are meeting the requirements under that policy. So I'm happy that as finances have tightened up, as revenues have tightened up, I'm glad that we have been able to maintain those things. I guess I'll hit on income as I've been doing over the past several months. And actually, we were thinking that we were seeing a slowdown in revenues. We were thinking that there was a little bit of a signal there that revenues were coming in under what we were required. We were thinking, and actually, we have another month of data. And we're starting, Treasurer and I are starting to get a little bit more comfortable as far as where our year end is going to end up. We've got some extraordinary expenses in a couple of departments that have to be covered, but overall, I think we are going to meet our budget requirements and end up the year in a positive manner. So having said all that, the rest of the things that we took care of are in your packet. If there's any question on any of those other items, Mr. Chairman, I think that's all I've got.
Any questions or comments? Jim? Thanks, Jim.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Executive Committee, the minutes are in your agenda, your packet. Is there any questions or comments about executive meeting we've had? If none, we'll go to reports of other committees or appointments. Board of Health, Ms. White.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We did not have a meeting this month, but I'll give you guys a couple highlights. They had their DHS fiscal and administrative review this week, and it went really well. They're going to have the WIC state review. If anyone doesn't know what WIC is, it's Women, Infants, and Children. It's a really good program for the state. They have someone coming from the CDC on September 8th to do a site visit for the public health assistance. We are co-sponsoring a visit to Dixon by Karen Young, a psychologist, and she's an expert in child and adolescent anxiety from Australia. So she's going to have a workshop at, I'm not for sure exactly where it is, but it's I can send it to you in the packet. I think it's maybe the Elks. I don't know. Sorry. Okay. Bats are popular. So there was a bat recently positive for rabies. So if you do have a bat, try to avoid contact with it. And if you get bit, go to the ER immediately, please. I'm surprised I have to tell you this. But just don't interact with the bat, please. Let's see. They sent many people to the ER for interacting with bats, so I have to remind you. They received a report for a problematic West Nile virus outbreak that might be in Lee County. Not an outbreak, just one case. They don't know if it originated in Colorado, but just please be careful. And there is a local Shigella outbreak. You might have to Google it because it's massive gut issues that you can have. And it's very highly contagious. So I don't have to tell you guys again, please wash your hands. Tell your children to wash your hands. Tell everybody to wash their hands. Our next meeting will be September 12th at 6:30 at the Board of Health meeting place. Sorry. Any questions?
I see in the news there's a resurgence of a variant of the COVID. Is there any comments or anything from that coming out of our health department?
No, we haven't had any updates.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Thank you. We'll go to 911 board, Mr. Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 911 ETSB held a meeting on July 27th. The minutes should be in the packet. In addition to that, ETSB is working with the county to potentially replace and repair the wall between the old Lee County Jail and the ETSB driveway. Cost to restructure the wall was discussed with proposals forthcoming. Next meeting will be scheduled for Thursday, September 28th 3:30 PM at the Lee County 911 Center.
Any questions for Keen? If none, we'll go to tourism. Mr. Gascoigne.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was unable to attend this month's meeting, but you can see the report in your packet or online. And I just have to give all the members of the Lee County Tourism Council credit. Their days are coming to an end, but they are continuing to diligently, promote Lee County events and area attractions.
Thank you. Any questions for Ron? Thank you, Ron. Tri-County Opportunities Council, Ms. Shippert.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. You can see the TCOC minutes in your agenda packet. Last meeting, the group was able to present the 2023 scholarship winners, which are listed there. Any questions?
Any questions or comments? Nope. Thank you. We'll go to Blackhawk Hills Regional Council, Lee Ogle Enterprise Zone, Ms. Shippert.
Thank you. Let's see. Actually, under this, you'll see in your agenda packet in onboard from the Blackhawk Hills Council, there's the economic resiliency in Northwest Illinois during the COVID-19 pandemic. If you're able to open that attachment and review it, it gives really interesting statistics on how Lee County and surrounding counties performed during the pandemic, and some information on who moved in, who moved out, some information surrounding what type of businesses did well, what did not so well, what kind of jobs increased, and how we were expected to increase or not versus jobs lost, and if those were an expected loss as well. So take some time to look over those and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Angie? Thanks, Angie. We'll go to Lee County Industrial Development Association, LACIDA, Mr. Acree.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just kind of wanted to touch base on, we met on August 9th. A lot of things going on here in Dixon. We've got the Gateway development. That's coming along real well. Sounds like they've got commitments for filling half of that already. So that's coming along really nicely. On August 30th, coming up next week, we've got Benell Industries is going to be doing a groundbreaking at the industrial park. So that's going to be a good development for them. Tom gave us a kind of an update on Intersect Illinois and Lee Ogle Enterprise Zone. Still not too many developments going on there, but they're heading in the right direction. And then he's continuing to have conversations with several commercial and retail businesses. So got a lot of good things going on in the county.
Seems like a bit busy lately. So any questions or comments? Yes, Angie.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the enterprise zone because we missed over that. And with the zone, you'll see in your agenda packet, there's some proposed map amendments to that zone. So last meeting, the group discussed the Invest in Illinois Act. Due to the act, the enterprise zone is allowed an increase in acreage from 9,600 acres to 12,800 acres. So included in the agenda packet are the recommendations for the additions of the land as well as a few areas of removal. So please take some time to look over the maps and suggested changes. It's likely in September there will be a public hearing on the map amendments, and then in October, this board and other boards would be voting on the changed ordinances. And then should those pass, those changes would be submitted to the state for approval.
All right. Sorry, I skipped over that.
No problem.
All right. Any questions for Angie or Reed? None. Thanks, Reed. Thanks, Angie. We'll go to CIRMA, Mr. Zeman.
No direct report, but CIRMA is obligated 60 to 90 days after the end of fiscal year to give us a report of what happened the previous. And we'll find out, how we are and if we get any money back or a number of claims and that kind of thing.
Sure.
It'll come through the board.
All right. And that's the next, when is their fiscal year over with? And when is their,
With ours, right?
I don't know if it is with June, so then we should have it in September sometime.
Yeah, it'll
Because I
probably,
think we get the check in September usually. I think you're right. Right, Wendy?
Yeah, their fiscal year runs consistent with ours.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for Mike?
we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Mike. UCCI, Mr. Kitson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There is no meeting this month. Over next month, we'll be meeting in Springfield, and they'll be having a new location. We just sent some stuff out, so look forward to attending that.
All right. Any questions or comments for Tom? Thanks. Illinois Association of County Board Members, Mr. Copine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything new to add, but I would ask Wendy. Sometimes she gets some communication too. Wendy, you got anything new that's come up?
I don't. Kelly's been good, of course, about emailing updates legislatively. There was also something recently about the upcoming conference in November. I didn't document the dates though, but there is a conference of Illinois County officials in November that Kelly will be putting together some educational sessions for board members.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mike? Comments? Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Under unfinished business, I have none. New business, Discover Dixon, the Lee County agreement with tourism services. Let's get a motion on the floor and then I'll have Mr. Kitson explain what's going on. Is there a motion to approve the Lee County agreement with Discover Dixon for our tourism services for the county? I got Mr. Gascoigne moves, Mr. Bivens seconds it. Tom, do you want to walk us through this agreement?
Sure, it's in your packet. Basically, we've been working on this since I think April as a committee. We finally come to an agreement which is similar to the agreement that they have with the city of Dixon. However, we'll be rebranding Lee County as well. We are probably now 2 to 3 weeks out. When they committed, they get back to us with 3 different things we can look at in the branding process. But they have started, excuse me, they have started, you're familiar with, we received a grant here a while back, and they are starting to work with that on down county stuff and development. And last month, we agreed that we would start to cut the funding from the present organization. And so this is the next step to get us going where we are. Any questions I can try to answer?
Hey, Tom, is it December or is when the agreement with Dixon is expired?
Yes. The end of November, it expires, the agreement with Dixon expires.
All right.
So we will be, September, we'll start taking, or October 1st, I guess, we will no longer put money into the Lee County tourism. It will go towards the new Dixon, Discover Dixon agreement we have with them.
All right. Any other discussion, questions or comments about what we're doing? I have a motion and a second. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll go to B, the resolution. We got intergovernment agreement between South Dixon Township and Lee County regarding the use of a salt storage shed located in South Dixon Township property. Let's let's get a motion on the board. Mr. Wilson, you want to move to it and Reed Acree seconds it. Let's have a discussion. Jack, you want to explain to us what's going on?
Sure. Dave Anderson with the Highway Department went and got a intergovernmental agreement with the South Dixon Township to use their salt shed in cooperation with us so we can share that same site. The resolution kind of spells it out a little bit about, what it's for and all the particulars of the legal part of it, but it's just, it's a nice cooperation between the two different governments and sharing a resource. So it's pretty much what it is.
Absolutely. I think it's win-win for both taxing districts, and I think be good for everybody. So any questions or comments? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We got the battery energy storage systems moratorium. I think we're going to put a moratorium on to the end of the year. We just don't have time to go through it. Our zoning is maxed out right now, department, but we will get that. So I'd look for, is there a motion to approve the battery storage systems moratorium extension? Ms. Naylor and Mr. Hudson seconds it. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We'll go to the Lee County Facilities, the bids for purchase of bulk electricity. Let's get a motion on the table, and then we'll discuss what we're doing. So is there a motion to approve the bid for purchase of bulk electricity? Mr. Wilson, what's your motion?
I make the motion that we go with Dynenergy Energy for a 4-year contract for $138,511.87 for a 4-year contract.
What was the kilowatt cost in the 4-year?
0.0687.
Do I have a second to that motion? Mr. Kitson seconds it. Tom, you want to discuss how you come to that, how your committee and Mr. Mudge?
Yes, so Mr. Freeland and I talked to Mike Mudge. He's filled us in on a few things. If you look at the chart that's on your desk, Aggressive is a 3-year term, and it's it goes up to 131,000. And in the 3rd year of Dynegy, it's 136. But I mean, if you take the amount of money we'd be saving is $17,000 if we went with the Aggressive. But the problem with going with a 3-year contract, if you notice that asterisk next to their name, every year, starting at the end of this year, they have the ability to up the contract. So those numbers could increase from what they're at. It's not like it's a 3-year solid contract. It's a moving target. So based on the numbers, for 138,511, we'll be guaranteed that amount in the 48-month term. The Properties Committee feels that it's best to go with a 4-year deal. And if anybody has any questions, I'm sure Mike would love to come up and fill us in on this. But if there's any questions, it's a moving target with the Aggressive one. And Dynegy Energy has a 4-year deal that for 138,511.87 that we feel is probably the best thing for the county.
Any questions or comments? Everybody good with that? All right. All those in favor of going with the Dynegy Energy, the 4-year bid of 0.06871, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Mike, for all you do for the county. Thank you. We'll go to E, hire a new administrator. Is there a motion to approve permission for the executive committee to hire the new administrator? Mr. Kitson moves, Mr. Wilson seconds it. Discuss this. This gives the executive committee permission to go ahead once we settle on a candidate that we can go ahead and offer a contract and hire without bringing it to the full board. We'll of course bring it to the full board, but it gives us authority to go ahead and make that commitment. So if there are any questions or comments, that's normally how we did it last time, and it's how we do it and move the process along. So all those in favor of giving permission to the executive committee to hire the new administrator, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I have no appointments this month. I don't have any executive session. We'll go to approval of county officers' reports, quarterly treasurers' reports. Is there a motion to approve the county officers' reports? Mr. Copine moves and Mr. Kitson seconds it. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll go to the approval of monthly revenue report, claims paid and vacation, and payroll paid. Is there a motion to approve these? Mr. Friel moves. Ms. Naylor seconds it. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Oh, sorry, you do. I didn't look at the next page. Roll call, please.
Larum. Larum. Naylor.
Yes.
Robertson.
Yes.
Sheline.
Yes.
Shippert.
Yes.
Schragstad,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zeman,
Yes.
Acree,
Yes.
Bivens,
Yes.
Book,
Yes.
Freel,
Yes.
Gascoigne,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kitson,
Yes.
Copine,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carried, of course. Approval of board member mileage and per diem. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Friel moves. Do I have a second? Mr. Bivens seconds it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'd look for a motion to adjourn. Mr. Hudson moves. Mr. Friel seconds it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.